Whipping up a tasty treat is a piece of cake with the Small Batch Snacking Cake Cookbook. Hello my dears, and welcome back to another episode of Me Up Buttercup. Today, we will be trying a delicious sounding recipe from a new cookbook I received from my mother. It is called the Small Batch Snacking Cake Cookbook. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of making a cake, it's usually for celebrating a big occasion or for sharing with quite a few people. But what about those times when you are craving just a bit of cake, but don't want to go through the whole production of making a large layered dessert and risk much of it going stale before it can be finished? This book offers the solution in the form of everyday snacking cakes. These are cakes that can be whipped up quickly and in smaller portions so that you can enjoy them for any occasion. There are 75 different recipes in the book with a wide range of flavors and ingredients. They are organized into easy-to-navigate sections, including a section for vegan and gluten-free cakes. I've chosen a recipe to try out today that sounds particularly tasty, called a Café Lait breakfast cake. I can't wait to see how it tastes, so let's get started. We will begin by combining 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter that has been softened to room temperature, and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. Congratulations, sugar! Using an electric mixer, we will cream these together until they become pale in color and fluffy. This should take about 2 to 3 minutes. Add 2 large eggs, one at a time, mixing until just incorporated between each addition. Add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla and mix well. In a separate bowl, combine 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Whisk these all together. For our next step, the recipe calls for 1/3 cup of half and half. I don't happen to have any half and half on hand, but I have made an easy substitute by combining half milk and half heavy cream, which is technically what half and half is made of. To this, we will add 3 tablespoons of brewed espresso. Let's alternate adding the flour mixture and the cream mixture to the butter-sugar mixture in 3 separate additions. Mix until just combined between each addition. Did you know Café au lait is French for coffee with milk? The drink is traditionally made by combining coffee and hot milk. In this cookbook, the author talks about how her great-grandmother would often make her something called coffee milk, which was equal parts coffee, milk, and sugar. This brought up memories of my own grandmother, who used to serve me the exact same thing growing up, and I absolutely loved it. I always thought coffee milk was something she made up just for me. So what a fun surprise it was to read such a similar story from this author. Now we need to prepare a baking pan for our batter. I have here an 8-inch square pan. It has been sprayed with baking spray and lined with parchment paper. You can see that I have left some parchment paper overhanging on 2 opposite sides. This will make it easier to lift the cake out of the tin after it has been baked. Let's pour our batter into the tin. Hey, batter, 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 hey, batter, batter, batter. Batter up. Be sure to spread it out nice and even. This cake will need to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit that's 177 degrees Celsius, for 30 to 40 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out with just a few moist crumbs attached. While our cake is baking, let's make a tasty glaze to go over top. The author suggested cream cheese glaze for this cake. Now I imagine that would be a delightful touch. However, I also saw a coffee glaze listed, and I always love an excuse to add more coffee flavor to any dessert. For this glaze, we just need 1 cup of powdered sugar and 1 1/2 tablespoons of brewed coffee.
Make sure that coffee isn't looking on the bright side.
It's got to be broody coffee. We will mix it together until smooth. I'm going to add an additional tablespoon of heavy cream to thin it out a bit and give it more of that coffee milk touch. I just want to drink it up. Shortly after removing the cake from the oven, while it is still warm, we will prick some holes in the cake using a fork. This will allow some of the glaze to seep into the cake to make it even more delicious. Then we will pour the glaze over the cake and spread it out evenly. Allow the cake to cool in the tin for 10 minutes. Then remove and set on a wire rack to cool completely. Once cooled, it can be cut into slices for serving. Oh, doesn't it look lovely? And now it's time for the best part, the taste test. Here you go, dear.
Thank you.
Oh, I just can't wait. It looks nice and moist, very well baked.
That's a winner.
It's delicious. Perfect amount of sweetness. I can taste that coffee coming through.
Yeah, the coffee, you can definitely taste the coffee in the cake. Though I will say, I think the coffee glaze was the right call because it really brings it forward and really makes it that coffee.
Yes, I agree.
But the sweetness of the glaze, the powdered sugar, almost give you the illusion that you're having your beignet with your cafe au lait in one dish.
Oh my God, you are so right. I was just thinking that this reminds me of one of my favorite restaurants near us that's New Orleans themed, and they have the best beignets. And we always go there and we order the beignets and we order the cafe au lait, and just a perfect combo. And that just brought back so many memories of that place.
Yeah, it's a nice little cake.
It's easy, it's quick, and truly delicious. I absolutely would recommend this cake, and I imagine many of the other cakes in the cookbook are just as good. Thank you so much for joining me today and testing out this delightful recipe. If you love the idea of quick any occasion cake recipes, you will definitely want to check out the Small Batch Snacking Cake Cookbook. I will put a link to where you can find the book in the description below. Oh, I do have one more announcement before we say goodbye. I will be attending Furry Weekend Atlanta on May 5th through May 8th. How exciting! Rusty and Lelia will also be making appearances, and I hope to see some of you there. Much love to all of you. Until next time, mwah!
I like my coffee brewed. I like my espresso brewed like Batman. Sorry, the Batman.
Batman.